Welcome to Music and Medicine. I'm your host, Dr. Moshe Lewis. Really excited today to be coming from the Jefferson Crenshaw Healthcare Center, which is part of the Watts Healthcare Corporation. We wanted to come into the community, come somewhere live, and guess who I run into? My co-host, Kathleen Bradley.
Right. I live not too far from here.
Yes.
And you know, we had a call time here to come to work. I'm going to tell you the truth. The closer you live, the later you are.
You take it hop in the skip.
5 minutes away, you take it for granted, right? Late.
Right, 2
That's
hours later.
neither here nor there. But I'm so happy to know that the community is under good hands with the Jefferson Health Center here. And it's a pleasure to just be able to have the community come together and have some of our celebrities come out and talk about the essence of the importance of having medicine and music, how it all combines each other.
Sure, yep, in good health. We're joined and delighted to be joined by some Hollywood royalty. Relationship to Red Fox, and this young lady, Hart Hayes, has landed a role in All the Queen's Men, which they tell me is BET's #1 show. I don't know that I'm old enough to watch it, but so delighted to have you join us.
Thanks for having me.
And yeah, before we really get started, I must say, when I found out you're related to Red Fox, and how are you related to Red?
On my mother's side, yeah.
Right? Because I was with a singing group called The Love Machine, 7 girls singing, dancing for years and years in Europe, and we also worked with Red Fox. We opened his show in Las Vegas. And traveled around with him for a while. He would call me the girl from Ipanema. Hello, you the girl from Ipanema. You're just so fine and everything. We had a great time. He's such a wonderful, charismatic guy, and wonderful to have that bloodline lineage within your family.
Yes. Right. I was so young when he passed away, but I got to experience him through my grandfather. He had the same sense of humor. So.
See there?
Which was his cousin.
Yes,
so.
I'm coming in.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Elizabeth.
Sure. So it's still a big jump from that to going actually into acting. So what inspired you to get into modeling and the whole business? Was it so intense?
My mom actually started me at a very young age, and growing up here in LA, it's kind of just part of our environment.
Exactly. DNA.
Family and friends are all connected. It's all around you. So she got me started at a young age, and I enjoyed it. I was very shy as a kid. But I loved being on stage and in front of the camera, and I stuck with it. It's like, yeah, I'm a creative at heart, so.
So I understand you started at 4 years old. Is that true? You first had your first job?
Probably was like a pageant or something. Yeah, who knows?
But that is a good thing to do because, especially if you say a pageant, and I often talk about pageantry on our show. I was Miss Black of California in 71, all of it. Anyway, and it does lead to other things, and it's great exposure, especially for a child to be able to get out in front of audiences, which is helpful, I'm sure, at some point to lead you to other endeavors and things in your life. And now you're just so successful and beautiful on that show. It is incredible. I love it. And I was telling people, I actually read for your part. I did.
Yes.
They were obviously looking for a wide variety of age range women. And I didn't get it, obviously. I'm so happy for you. But
Thank you.
we got to watch the show, All the Queen's Men.
I would love to see your tape, your audition tape.
I have it. It's at home. Actually, I keep all of my audition tapes, and I do have it.
Yeah,
we'll talk
I
about
gotta
it.
see that.
Yes,
I'm
you
sure
must.
it's great.
I got to see it again too. Why I didn't get it?
I can't imagine why.
They're saving me for a different role.
Yeah,
Don't worry.
Exactly. That's the point, right. Maybe the queen. So you're going to play Renee, but talk to us about the show and what sort of interests you in it in terms of auditioning, because it's obviously a little bit risque and controversial.
So the show, I had never watched it when I auditioned. And, sometimes when these calls come in, sometimes you have more than one and you have to turn them around quick.
Right.
So I like to do as much research as possible, but it was just one of those times where I had to get it done. And the scene that I auditioned, it was very like a seductive scene. So I had a feel what the show was about. And I'm like, okay, how am I going to do this? How am I going to do this tape? And my friend that helped me tape, she actually was like, well, you know how to do burlesque dancing. Why don't you just tap into that, intention? I was like, okay, yeah, let me see. And it worked. So, and then I got the script and I got to see more. I'm like, wow, this is like very colorful show.
Yes, you call it colorful.
Sure. Right.
The
Polite
lack
word.
of a better word.
Right.
Yeah, so I've seen some trailers and different things from it and everything. And Eva Marcille,
Mhm.
she's done an excellent job with it.
Yeah,
She really
yeah.
has brought that show full circle.
Yeah,
And now I'm
she's
sure
amazing.
with you on, they're giving her run for her money as with your
Oh.
beauty and the essence of what you bring to the character. How is she perceiving you? What kind of relationship do you guys have on the show?
Well, me and her, we actually didn't shoot a lot of scenes together. My storyline is actually with a different
Oh.
character. So we only got to meet very, very briefly.
Oh.
Who knows? Hopefully if I'm on the next season, maybe we'll
Yeah.
have some more time together to work together. But she's beautiful.
Yeah, she's like the
She's
dominatrix
gorgeous.
matrix and everything on that show. She's
Yeah.
ripping men and doing she don't play. I was scared watching the trailer. Damn.
So on that note, this is season 4, I think, and talk to us about just some of the controversy that lies in there, because it always seems to be this tremendous challenge if people are asked to do nude scenes or to do things that really go against their principles, and you're able to stand on your own and say, I'm not going to do that, but I'd still like to be part of this.
Yeah, I've always had that, there's certain limits. I want like all actors, aspiring artists to know, like, you be true to yourself, even in your craft. And there will be these times where you have this challenge and you have to make very tough decisions. And it's hard, especially when you're an actor that's still, trying to break walls down and things like that. You're like, I'm not Halle Berry. Who am I to say no? And I
Right.
really wanted the role, though. I'm like, this character, she's a lot, and she's going to be a lot to play with. So I just had a discussion with myself. I knew the answer already, and the question was, am I willing to risk it? And the risk was, I think it'll be harder to live doing something that I wasn't comfortable with. So that's why I stand my ground, and
Right.
you gotta have faith and just trust it, because look what happened. The producer's like, okay, no problem. I was that good that they were like, we're gonna keep her. We're not looking for the next girl. Let's work around with what she's comfortable with, and I appreciate that.
Yeah,
Support,
I can truly attest to and relate to what you're saying, having been in the industry for so many years, even modeling and acting and different things, and to have, me to take my clothes off. I came up with the Pam Grier era.
Yeah.
And I knew Pam well. People would always relate. She and I kind of similar in so many ways. And, I watched her do her unveiling, and, she was not ashamed of her body. And I have been asked several times to, if I would do nudity or this or that, or modeling or acting or whatever. And I kind of shied away from it as well, especially, I was married at one point to my first husband. He was kind of really not for it, but it was like, would I do it if the money was enough? Was the part good enough? Or is it going to take me to another level? Or will I be frowned upon? Will I be on the front cover of Ebony?
Yeah.
Because Ebony magazine and our Black Society, NAACP, they frowned upon all that. It was not like, you can go out and be in Playboy magazine or something. And with the other Caucasian women, their society, and people thought nothing of it. But we had a whole nother persona as Black women to uphold at some point, especially when I was coming up in the business, that we kind of really would shy away from it, because it would put you in a whole different genre. But evidently it did not hurt Pam Grier's career, but she did have that stigma put on her, and then she got typecast. And then thereafter, she had to keep taking it off at some point. They're like, are you seeing that she has value as a woman and that she does have talent? Or are you just there to see the next boob shot or whatever? So it can be very touching. And
it's very touching.
I applaud you for
I definitely reached out to some other female actresses, and that's more experienced, to get some more advice, from them. And that helped me like kind of keep my own decision too. And it was just, at the end of the day, especially now, because everything's on the internet. So it's not like, some people may not see it. No, everyone can see everything you do these days.
Right, they do. Lala Anthony, she up there at all. Like you said, Halle Berry, heck, she gets an Academy Award for the most daring, seductive, nude love-making scene of her whole career. She gets an Academy Award for it. Go figure. You know, who knew? But it, like you said,
She
it's
did
all
an amazing
subjective.
job, though, outside of that. She did an
Absolutely.
amazing job. And this season is still going to be very steamy. Even if I'm not showing all the goods, it's still a lot of
You know, sometimes
stuff going on.
yeah,
It's
sometimes
very-
just the essence or the not showing it all, and how a lot of directors and people are able to get that mystique about. You're still showing the sexual scene and different things happening and whatever,
But it
but
doesn't
you
have to
don't
be
show
so
anything.
blunt.
It doesn't, you know, there's
Yeah.
ways to do that. So, and they're doing it. And I'm so happy and glad that they allowed you to stand your ground. And
Yeah.
girl, I love that.
Thank you. And I'm just happy that I had like a co-star that was so supportive and professional, and along with all the producers and everyone at the
They said
studio.
she's worth
So
it. She's worth it. Okay.
And on that note, I want to tease this out though, as the guy that's here. Most of the women that I've talked to say that they would never, and that this is really driven more by guys, and to a large extent because guys are often the producer and things like that. Do you sense that that's a big part of it?
I don't know if it's driven by guys. I think it's more of a culture in like American film, because I noticed like in other film in outside of America, like I watch Bollywood movies, and it's so passionate, it's so sexy, and like you're just on the edge of your seat, and they never show anything, you know?
Right. It
So
can be done, like you're saying, the allure.
yeah, I think it
the
kind of
hint.
almost comes to like the culture of, where we live. We're so like, we want everything like in our face nowadays. And like, I would love for us though. There was a time where a lot of directors here, they would do the more seductive, not show everything thing. I would love for us to go back to that, because I don't think like showing everything is necessary to tell the story.
Absolutely not. So we see it in the soap operas all the time.
Right.
They don't tell you anything off. You see they just want to see skin. You don't have to see everything, but there's a way to do it. So
Yeah.
Moving forward, in terms of your career, what are some of the things that you're looking forward to being able to do and sort of use this as a launching pad too?
I honestly have always been like, I love movies, and I love movies that allow me to escape. So I want to just do films that I enjoy watching and that it's in my collection. And so like action and rom-com, things that are not in the real world, even though most of the stuff I do is drama. Ironically, I'm like, I hate drama in real life, but yeah, so the goal is to make films and do TV shows that I really enjoy watching myself. It's just, some action, some comedies, fantasy, musical. I have like musical theater background and stuff. So things like that. That's the goals. Yeah.
that's great. That's
Absolutely.
wonderful. You have to be diverse nowadays, especially. And you say theater. Do you sing, dance, and all the above?
I do. I've done musical theater. Actually, here, I grew up training at a place called Amazing Grace Conservatory. And but Wendy Raquel Robinson. Yeah.
Right.
I actually just did their production recently as an alumni performer.
The Wave?
They had an
No, we
anniversary
did
or
the
something.
Latin last
Latin,
month.
yes,
Yeah, we did Latin. So
okay.
I trained under Amazing Grace Conservatory and did musical theater there with them and learned a lot. And it was nice to be back. It was so fun to be back. But also I'm a choreographer, and I've toured around the world dancing.
Oh, wonderful. See there, girl, you were ready. This was ready for you, this now. And for people to be able to see it soon and look at it and just go with knowing that there's just beautiful woman here who is just bringing it all. And it's your time, honey. I could feel it.
Oh, thank
It's just
you.
a pleasure knowing you and meeting you and talking to you about
Thank
your
you.
lifestyle so much today.
Sure. And standing on your principles, which is
That's
certainly something I think we need to continue to see more of. We've heard a lot of the controversy that we don't have to bring up, but that seems to
Yeah.
be, and that's at least a theme that I take away, that people have to have their principles and continue to stand on them. Otherwise, you can't command the respect. On that note, thanks so much for joining us. We're here live at the Jefferson Healthcare Center in Los Angeles, and they're supported by the Watts Healthcare Corporation. We're talking to Hart Hayes, and she's just got this amazing role in All the Queen's Men, and we look forward to seeing you and seeing more of you and some of the other things that you're doing, and just wish you the best in your career. Thanks so much.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.